dear students. I hope you're enjoying the revision lectures, the 15 minutes booster program. Let's continue with the third unit of Contract Act, that is, other essential elements of a valid contract. Now, I have chosen only two questions from here. One is a question, and other is actually a concept. Someone had requested a video on wagering agreements. Yes, so I have picked up that concept from the module, and I'm going to discuss that concept and highlight the keywords from the module. If you're watching my video for the first time, I am CA Preeti Agarwal, and we have recently started a series of 15 minutes booster videos. Continue watching these question answer videos, subscribe to your channel Theory Masters Learning, and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications for all the upcoming videos. The first question which I have chosen is define fraud and whether mere silence amounts to fraud as per the Indian Contract Act. This question is also from my compiler for CA Foundation Law. You can find the compiler on my website theorymasterslearning.com. It contains all the past exam questions, study material questions, MTP, RTP questions arranged unit wise. Define fraud and whether mere silence amounts to fraud as per the Indian Contract Act. So over here, what they expect you to write is fraud and comment on whether silence amounts to fraud. This question has been asked twice, once in RTP November 2018 and then CA Foundation November 2019. All three questions, they more or less expect you to write the definition, explain it, and then the exceptions whether silence amounts to fraud. Now, I'm not considering this just as a question answer, but let us discuss and revise the concept also. So, fraud. If this question is asked in the exam, what will you write? You will first define fraud. And fraud is defined under Section 17 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. So, students, whenever a definition type of question is asked, always write Section 17 as per Section 17. Okay, you can write as per Section 17 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. Fraud means and includes any of the following acts. Now, fraud means and includes any of the following acts. So they have explained the meaning of fraud as well as listed the actions which amount to fraud. So this is just a basic definition which you already know. Under Section 17, fraud means and includes any of the following acts which are committed by the party to the contract. So this is the meaning, students. Please note, this is the meaning. Acts committed by the party to the contract or with his connivance. Connivance means his planning, scheming, ideas, or by his agent. Now, there are 3 points which you should remember. Fraud may be committed either by the party to the contract or with his connivance, planning, scheming, or it may be committed by his agent. So this is part A, this is B, and this is C. Why are we committing fraud? Because it is our intention to, one, deceive the other party. Okay, so to deceive another party, this is the first reason for committing fraud, or to induce him to enter into contract. So this is the second reason. I basically want to deceive him, cheat him, take money, run away, or I want him to enter into contract. So I am forcing him, I am giving him false facts intentionally so that he enters into contract. This is the definition of fraud. Let us revise it once again. Fraud means any act which is committed by the party to the contract or with his connivance or by his agent. See the actions which I am using, it will help you to remember the definition. Why are we doing this? Because we want the other party to enter into contract, or we want to cheat, deceive the other party. Now, the definition mentioned that it means and includes. So meaning is explained over here. And what does it include? That is mentioned below. We are suggesting a fact which is not true by one who does not believe it to be true. In simple words, we are suggesting a fact which is false, and we know what we are saying is false. So in simple terms, we are lying. Then this is fraud. Okay, so you are giving out false facts intentionally. It is fraud. The key word over here, students, is intentionally. Okay, we do not believe it to be true. It means we are giving false facts intentionally. Active concealment. Yes, the key word over here is active concealment is fraud. So, can we say that mere concealment is not fraud? What is mere concealment? No seller will point out defect in his product. Buyer has to check the product before buying. Buyer, beware. So, mere concealment is not fraud. Students, you can write this. Whereas active concealment is fraud. Okay, mere concealment is not fraud because no seller will point out defect in his product. Active concealment is fraud. Promise made without the intention of performing it. I have made a promise that I will supply goods, but I don't have any intention of supplying. That is fraud. Any other act fitted to deceive, so this has widened the scope of the definition. Any such act or omission as the law declares it to be fraudulent. So if it is properly mentioned, this is fraud, or if it is mentioned in some other act that this amounts to fraud, then Contract Act says, okay, we will also consider this as fraud. So this is the meaning of fraud. Now, mere silence is not fraud because no seller will point out defect in his product. Buyer, beware. Buyer has to check the product before buying. But there are certain circumstances wherein silence is fraud, where it is duty of the party to speak. In case of fiduciary relation, now what is the meaning of fiduciary? Relation of trust, confidence. It is the duty of the party to speak. Like in case of parent and child, doctor patient, spiritual advisor devotee, they are all based on trust and confidence. It is the duty of the party to speak, to tell if there is any defect in the goods. If they hide it, it is fraud. Contracts of insurance, they are considered to be a contract of utmost good faith. Like say you went to take out a mediclaim insurance policy, it is mostly self declaration. If you hide facts, then that is fraud. In case of marriage, you hide certain facts that there are some issues with either the boy or the girl. It is considered as fraud. Silence over here is fraud. Contracts of family settlement. Two brothers, they are settling their business. Okay, they are partitioning their business. If let's say the brother one knows that the property is disputed, there are certain issues, but he hides that fact from the other brother, that is fraud. Share allotment contracts. If you are submitting false information so that the shares are allotted to you, it is fraud. Now students, you need to mention this. It is given in the module also, but only write one sentence, one line of explanation. No need to explain it in detail. Silence is equivalent to speech. Now, let's say you went to buy a second hand mobile. You ask the shopkeeper, if there is any defect, tell me. He keeps silent. What will you assume? So his silence gave you some message that there is no defect in the mobile. If later on you find that the mobile is defective, silence amounts to fraud, you can take action. I will leave the question in the description box, students. You can read and try to answer it on your own. After that, you can check the answer with my video. The second concept which I have chosen for discussion is the wagering agreement. Now, this is not some question answer which I'm going to discuss. A student from our channel had requested for a video on wagering agreement. So, fulfilling his demand, I am discussing the concept from the module. Section 30, wagering. We will highlight the keywords. So, please keep a pen and or a highlighter with you and bring the module. Now, what is the meaning of wagering agreement? Wager means betting. So here the outcome is it depends on whether you have won the bet or lost the bet. So what is the essence of wager? It is winning or losing. How will you identify whether it's a wagering agreement or not? Wager means betting. Now I am betting whether it will rain today or not. If it rains, I will win. If it doesn't rain, I will lose. So there is winning or losing. It's a wagering agreement. The event is totally uncertain. It is out of my control. I don't know whether it will rain or not. So when the outcome depends upon happening or non-happening of an uncertain event, it is wager. In simple words, we can say wager means betting. In India, betting is void. It is void in India, but if you are in the state of Maharashtra or Gujarat, then this betting becomes illegal. Okay, the essence of wager is winning or losing. In if in the question you can see, you can identify winning or losing, then it is wager. So please underline that. There are certain essential elements of wager. Wager means there is a promise to pay money or money's worth. I am promising to pay you either money or something worth in the terms of money. I will give you this pencil. It's worth 5,000 rupees. I'll give you my gold watch. It is worth 10,000 rupees. So giving money or money's worth. The promise is conditional. Whether I will pay or not depends upon uncertain event. It may rain, it may not rain. Fire may occur, fire may not occur. There must be uncertainty. Okay, the event is uncertain. The event on which I'm placing the bet, that is uncertain. India may win the match, India may not win the match. It's totally uncertain. Two parties, there is mutual chance of winning or losing. Yes, tell me whether India will win the match today or not. You want to bet? I say it will win, you say it will lose. There's mutual chance of winning or losing. I may win the bet, I may lose the bet. You may win the bet, you may lose the bet. If I'm very confident I am going to win the bet, then that is not wager. There is mutual chance of me winning or losing. There must be common intention, that's not important point. Parties have no real interest in the event. I'm not concerned with the rainwater. I'm not going to collect it. I'm not concerned whether India wins the match or not. My photo is not going to be printed on the front page. I'm only concerned about my bet, whether I have won the bet or lost the bet. So please underline the words, they are the key words, they should be mentioned in your answer. There are certain transactions which are similar to wager, similar to gambling, that is why they are not valid. Lottery. See, now lottery is wager as per the Contract Act. But sometimes your state government may allow you to buy lottery or sell lottery. Nobody is going to put you in jail. But if you win and you don't get the prize money, then you cannot file a case under the Indian Contract Act because Contract Act treats it as wager. So lottery, it's a game of chance. I may win, I may not win. There is no skill, there is no knowledge involved. If there is skill or knowledge, then it is not wager. So game of chance. I may win, I may not. It's a game of chance. That is wager. Lottery sanctioned by the government is wagering as per the Contract Act. If you win, you don't get the money, prize money. You cannot file a case under the Contract Act. That is just to discourage people from entering into lottery or betting transactions. Okay, but if your state government allows, you can buy lottery, you can sell lottery, nobody's going to put you in jail. But they're illegal. Even the collateral is also tainted with illegality. That is the effect on collateral transactions. So lottery, they are saying, is illegal. Very interesting crossword puzzles and competitions. Now I have made a small note for you students. Firstly, before that, let us know what is included in crossword puzzles. So you have word puzzles, picture puzzles, various competitions like essay competition, or word competition. Now if you are sending your application and the editor is just picking out the correct applications which have come, if it is a matter of chance, if he already has previously prepared solution and he's only picking one of the correct solutions, then that is wager. So what they will do is, when they receive all the entries, they will sort the correct ones, and from those correct ones they will pick up the correct, they will pick up just one or two winners, then that is wager. But if the winners, they are based on skill, on intelligence, then it is not wager. Like essay writing competition or some picture competition wherein the prize will be awarded to the person who submits the best application, that is not wager. over there you need to remember something, that crossword puzzles, they are awarded on the base of skill, etc. That is, it is valid, it's not wager. But even then, the prize competition in games of skill, if it is not wager, provided the prize money does not exceed 1,000. So again, I have a small note for that. It is not wager if the prize money is less than 1,000 rupees. But even in case of skill, if the prize money is more than 1,000 rupees, then that is wager. That is wager. So you can pause the video, write this. Okay. So prize competitions, if it is less than 1,000, it is not wager. If the prize money is more than 1,000, then that will also be considered as wager, even though the results are based on skill. Let us continue. So previously prepared solution is wager. You're just picking out the winner. If it is based on skill intelligence, it is not wager. Speculative transactions like share market transaction. See students, if you are not going to deliver the shares or the goods, that is wager. You're only settling the difference in price. You're only playing with the price. You're only taking advantage of the rise and fall in price. It is wager. But if there is also delivery of goods in the same transaction, if there is delivery, where is that? Yes, share market, commercial transaction, there is delivery, then it is not wager. Are you able to relate now? Okay. So in case of share market transaction, you can pause the video and write this. If there is no delivery, you're only settling the difference in price, it is wager. If there is delivery of goods, if there is delivery of shares, then it is not wager. Horse race transactions. So if the amount payable to the bet winner is less than 500, it is wager. So see the note which I have written. If the prize money is less than 500, it is wager. If the prize money is more than 500, it is not wager. Why? Because we want to discourage people from entering into a bet on horse race transactions. So people who are very poor, they will not bet more than 500 rupees prize money. So they will bet like 100 rupees, so that the prize money is 500, or 200 rupees prize money is 500. So we want to discourage such small bettors who are spending their hard earned daily wage money. We want to discourage them. That is why the limit is set to 500. But if people are betting more amount, so that the prize money is more than 500, even if they lose some money, they are not going to be affected. So for them it is not wager. So if the prize money is less than 500, this is the prize money, okay? And not the amount that you have bet. It's the prize money. It's less than 500, it is wager. More than 500 is not wager. Okay, these are not considered as wager. Like chit fund, it's like, to put it to simple words, like a kitty party. So wherein people contribute money, and they put chits, and one chit will be picked up. The person whose name appears will get the entire pool of money. Why is this not wager? It is a game of chance. No, it is not wager because you will not lose money. Your name is not picked up now, but it may be picked up some other time. So there is no chance of losing the money. That is why it is not wager. Commercial, so that, it, kitty party is not chit fund, okay? That is, it's a properly managed fund. I'm just giving you an example of how that fund works. Share market transaction where delivery is involved is not wager. Game of skill like KBC, minute to win it, crossword puzzle, picture puzzle, where the prize is not based on chance, it is based on skill. The best essay writing will win, then that is not wager. But over here also, if the prize money is less than 1,000, it is not wager. More than 1,000, it is wager. Contract of insurance, that's not wagering, it's a contingent contract. Now you pay premium to an insurance company. They will give you the insurance policy, but whether they will give you the price, or whether they will give you the policy money or not, depends whether fire occurs or not, whether a person dies or not. Only the performance is contingent, okay? There's no winning losing, okay? I've written over there, there's no winning or losing involved. It's not wager. In fact, it's a contingent contract. So students, this was the concept of wagering, which I quickly covered because I know it is exam time, you may want to revise it, but student had requested, so I remembered and included this in the 15 minutes booster videos. I hope the concepts are clear, the notes are clear. In case you have some query, you want me to make a full-fledged detailed video, put in a request in the description box and I'll try to fulfill your request. Before leaving, just few words of encouragement. Stay motivated, stay positive. Don't feel scared. I know this is the first professional exam which you are giving, but fear is normal. It is absolutely normal. Everybody goes through that. Just stay confident and keep working hard till your examination. We are always there to support you, to help you. You can send in your doubts. The groups are mentioned in the description box. Do visit my website theorymasterslearning.com for a variety of CA books, lectures, and a lot of free material.